I was informed last night that this tweet is fake. The show was already out, so we initially decided to post a notice saying we got tricked, and later thought it best just to delete it from the episode. My sincere apologies to everyone, especially the person who got hoaxed. Joe Rogan reacts to a doctor's insane tweet with Brett Weinstein and how we should treat each other with post-mass formation psychosis. Apparently, this tweet drew so much ire from Joe Rogan stans that they were like destroying this guy. So I will never regret the vaccine, even if it turns out I injected actual poison and have only days to live. My heart was in the right place. I got vaccinated out of love, while anti-vaxxers did everything out of hate. If I had to die because of my love for the world, then so be it, but I will never regret or apologize for it. It's just interesting, man. Joe Rogan keeps finding himself as like one of the main guys on the internet that is like super famous, has massive reach. He just keeps finding himself owned over and over again.
And was in the right place, while anti-vaxxers did everything out of hate. It's a fascinating perspective. And it's also a fascinating perspective that this person claims to be about love, but has the most uncharitable view.
Jamie really got to be helping him out more, dude. Pulled that shit up. University has been slacking lately, okay? I don't know what it is, but like, he really needs to be like, bro, this is not real.
People who didn't get vaccinated, that everyone got anti-vax out of hate. The idea that I didn't get vaccinated out of hate, I find so ridiculous. Like, I don't hate anyone. I am a loving person. I do it on purpose. I go out of my
No, you didn't get vaccinated because you're a dumbass, bro. Like,
way to be as charitable and as kind as possible. When I see something like that, I'm like, that is ideological capture at its highest level. Because put that back up again. So she's saying, even if it turns out
He said, Jamie, pull that shit up again. He said, Jamie, pull that shit up again, dude. I'm not done with that. Give it to me.
Injected actual poison. The idea that you wouldn't be upset when you were thinking that this was somehow going to save people and save the world is so insane that wouldn't bother you. But you are uncharitably categorizing all people who are hesitant and getting an experimental medical intervention that's never been tried on mass amounts of human beings in human history.
I mean, that's literally, like, you're just describing most medicine. Not only that, but you also took ivermectin, dog. What the are you talking about?
And also, if she's a doctor, a medical doctor, she should know about the VAERS system. And she should know that although there are people that report things that turn out to not be correct, there's a very low number that get reported in respect to the actual number of vaccines.
Where did you get that from? Where? You can't bring up the VAERS system, talk about how the VAERS system is self-reported, so it's like very clearly susceptible to people lying, and then make up a lie on the spot about how, like, oh, dude, so many people like don't even report it, even though a lot of the reports are just fake. You know, they say like Harry Potter got a vaccine injury, but also like there's so much more that's not reported.
Vaccine injuries that take place.
There's no evidence for that whatsoever. He just made it up, or he read it in a Facebook post or something.
We hear stories. I mean, it's so anecdotal. I hesitate to even discuss it. You know, oh, I know this guy and he had a stroke and the doctors wouldn't put that in the VAERS system and they were.
Dude, what the fuck? This is crazy. He's like, yeah, dude, the doctors all are like, we got to hide the truth. We got to hide the truth, man. We all got to universally get together. Like, a buddy of mine, he got a stroke, and the doctors were like, we're going to hide it. We're going to engage in malpractice that is like, that you can easily get fucking sued for. Like, what the hell? What the hell are you saying? Apparently, you know Joe. Wait, you think I'm being uncharitable to what Joe Rogan is saying here? Brother, there is no charitability. He is lost in the sauce. It's like trying to listen to, you know, someone having a schizophrenic attack, okay, and trying to make sense of it. Joe Rogan has been owned so many fucking times about spreading fake news, especially as it pertains to this issue, specifically because, like, he is so motivated. He is so motivated to, like, you know, say that he's right. So he'll believe anything and everything. There is no, it doesn't matter how ridiculous it seems, right? He's just like, no, I believe it. I believe it. Like a buddy of mine. There's a couple issues where he will believe anything. no matter how insane it sounds. And then he'll be like, it sounds insane, right? And it's like, that's the moment where you should go, nah, dog, like it does sound insane because it's not real, okay? Like anything that's related to trans people being crazy and strange, Joe's like, yeah, a buddy of mine actually experienced that. And vaccines are the other one.
Refuse to put it in the VAERS system. You hear about all these stories.
In the eyes of the Norman population, most people have like moved beyond COVID, okay? The people who took all the precautions, people who took vaccines, the people who like mask wore in public and all that stuff. Like, I'm not talking about COVID being over. It's clearly not. People still have COVID, okay? People are still getting COVID. But in the eyes of like the American population and the population across the planet for the most part, people are like living in a post-COVID world, right? It's only people like Joe Rogan who are like obsessed, hyper obsessed still, that still constantly talk about COVID. It's not over, but it's forgotten. Okay, so someone like Joseph Robinette Rogan still talking about it like this every day, having Brett Weinstein on to talk about it, like it's obvious. It's obvious that he's like still hyper obsessed. This kind of shit, for the most part, by the way, is weird to the Norman audience too. I wouldn't be surprised if plenty of his audience members are literally watching this going like, come on, dog, like nobody cares. Anyway, Joe Rogan is a buffoon, okay? Shitting on vaccinating and shitting on vaccines is one of the most annoying fucking things you can do.
In private hospital. So these are businesses, and these businesses run, a lot of them, you know, it's a very precarious business.
Oh my God, he's still talking about it. Okay, I can't. I'm done with this. This entire thing is fake. Highlight of me of Rogan's 3.5-hour podcast with Brett Weinstein today was actually something Rogan said. Unlike the sheeple, Rogan is immune to bullshit because he has a podcast where he gets to talk to scientists like Robert Malone, Peter McCullough, and Brett Weinstein.
One of them. If I wasn't doing this podcast, okay, if I was just a regular comedian and that's what I did for a living, and I didn't pay much attention to alternative media and podcasts that were discussing this, and people like Peter McCullough or Robert Malone, or
Thank God he had brilliant scientists like Robert Malone on.
or all these people that were sounding the alarm, if I was one of those people that didn't have the access to these kind of conversations, I would not have a nuanced perspective. And if I had gotten vaccinated and other people didn't, I would be like, fuck those people. I would be just like people I know who I used to be friends with, who now hate me and are angry at me and talk shit about me online. And I forgive them. Because I would have been like them if I didn't have the access to the kind of conversations that I've had, if I didn't have the kind of mindset that I have, that my personality that is just immune to bullshit. When bullshit hits me, I go, oh, I know what this is. I grew up without a dad, okay? I don't trust people. I think there's a lot of bullshit in the world. You know, I've had people try to do things.
I love this. This is the endless debate around skeptics who are incredibly skeptical of the narratives, right? The narratives like the common sense legislation or the things that like the scientific community sometimes arrives at a consensus on. Those are always things that you have to be skeptical of. But all the bullshit that I get from my Facebook feed that corresponds to my personal biases, I will never give a shred of skepticism to. And that is at the heart of every quote unquote skeptic. These motherfuckers are never skeptical with the sides that they agree on. They're just never skeptical of anything that they see on their Facebook feed, but everything they see from scientists, there must be a vast conspiracy out there. It's like, how about you issue some of your skepticism lasers towards the fucking 1 pixel Facebook meme that your grandfather shared?
To me, I've been in dangerous situations. I know people can be sketchy. There's sketchy fucking people out there in the world. And the people that haven't experienced that and don't have that perspective, I can understand why they formed the conclusions that they did, because I could have been them. I 100% could have.
Thank God he's immune to bullshit.
The Matrix, which we kind of are living in and kind of aren't living in, is a virtual reality. And when you and I have the experience of going and looking at somebody's Twitter page and it's like they literally live on a different planet where up is down, that's because they're experiencing a kind of virtual reality is not the same one that we're plugged into. And I think, you know, you and I are struggling to not be plugged into virtual reality. We're trying to retain a grip on actual reality, which is hard as hell in this era. There are those who have, you know, surrendered to the Matrix the way Cypher does in the film, right? They would just rather, you know, not struggle struggle against it because what are they going to do?
Love that. And Rogan admires Brett because despite Evergreen, Brett has stood by his principles and has not been subject to audience capture. Except for when he goes on the Joe Rogan Experience and like unironically says whatever the fuck Joe Rogan wants him to say. But he also partially believes in that bullshit anyway. But hey, that's how he gets his Patreon money. You know what I'm saying?
Violently ejected out of my home tribe, right?
Oh God, he's still talking about fucking being yelled at by college freshmen at Evergreen. I hate this. Holy shit. Liberal arts universities should have a rule in place where they're not allowed to fire any professors, no matter how creepy, gross, perverted, or racist they are. I'm sick and tired of all the podcasts that have come out of this, okay? I'm sorry. Deal with it. Just keep paying them, okay? They can't teach anymore, but just keep paying them because I'm sick and tired of having to fucking hear their podcasts. I don't care. At most, it's going to be like 100 students that they annoy, okay? But when they have a podcast and go on the Joe Rogan Experience because they got fired for truth, then they're annoying millions of people, okay? Be utilitarian about it. You are no longer allowed to fire these fucking dickheads, dude. I'm sorry. We need to stop the real problem in society, okay?